Is Jey Uso still bleeding for the Bloodline? Is he still family bound? Or is it just for the time being? These are some of the questions that we've had recently going through this whole entire storyline with Roman Reigns, Jimmy and Jey Uso, Solo Sikoa, and the main star of the storyline, or in my opinion, the co-star, in Sami Zayn. On the March 6, 2023 episode of Monday Night Raw, Sami Zayn would take on Jimmy Uso in the main event. However, Solo Sikoa and Jey Uso were nowhere to be seen. They were both banned from ringside, and we just wanted to see how the match was going to end. After a failed haluva kick attempt, a brief roll-up from Sami Zayn would get him the 1-2-3. But prior to the victory, Jey Uso would come out through the crowd, stand on the announce table, and be cheering for his brother, or former brother at this point, in Jimmy Uso. He would be cheering for him to defeat Sami Zayn. However, after the defeat by Zayn of Jimmy, Jey would look on with a lot of questions, disappointment, and I feel like eyes clouded by abuse. Jey would look on to Jimmy and enter the ring with severe sadness in his face. The emotional overflow that we've talked about for the last 2 videos I've made on this topic continues to leak from the veins of Jey Uso. He would extend his fist with a fist bump to the chest of Jimmy Uso, but then he would push him away, and he would slowly make his way outside of the ring. He would walk over to the honorary Us, or former honorary Us, in Sami Zayn, and look on with more emotion in his eyes than we have ever seen before, prior to the night when Sami got turned on by the Bloodline. And it looked as if Jey didn't know what to do, which is something we've talked about before. The constant abuse, trauma, and control from the tribal chief and Roman Reigns over Jey makes it very hard for him to think clearly. And even at this point, I still don't think he's thinking clearly at all when it comes to the conclusion and the continuation of this storyline. He would embrace Sami Zayn with a hug, and it looked as if Jey had fully turned on his family and aligned himself with Sami Zayn. Zayn and Uso, were they finally going to be a team and combat the control and the Iron Fist and the Thanos-like approach that Roman Reigns, Jimmy, and Solo have over Friday Night SmackDown and the rest of the WWE Universe? And then, just like Shawn Michaels turning on Marty Jannetty, just like the chair shot to the back of Roman Reigns from a former brother-in-arms in Seth Rollins, Jey Uso would stand side by side with Sami Zayn and crack him in the jaw with a super kick. You could see this was the point where I feel like Jey fully let the emotion, trauma, and abuse take him over. And even though it was the former brother-in-arms in Sami Zayn that Jey had turned on, I feel like he didn't do it out of the want to do it. He did it because he felt like it was the only option, because he was under the iron fist of Roman Reigns and the rest of the family. I know a lot of people are going to say that this is going to lead to Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn versus the Bloodline for the tag team titles at WrestleMania, and it very well could be, but at the end of the day, this is nowhere near the end of the storyline. This is just another arc and another corner and another road that we didn't see coming, and one of the best storylines WWE has really gone through with in the last 10 years. Yes, it looks as if Jey is back with the Bloodline, but when I told you that this story was about Jey, I feel like this just added another chapter to the story that is about Jey. I know he turned on Sami and realigned with the Bloodline, but he didn't want to. He felt as if he needed to. And as the story continues to unfold, I feel as if Jey Uso will eventually leave Jimmy, leave Solo, and align with Sami Zayn and take on Roman Reigns for the Universal title. You could see that as he was attacking Sami Zayn, the emotion and the screaming and the anger and the sadness and the confusion was all just at an all-time high. It was at its epitome. It couldn't have gone any more. It couldn't have gone any higher before it overflowed, just as we saw on Raw. And although Sami and Jey might be far away right now, they're eventually going to come closer together. Because as we've already said, this story is not about Roman Reigns. This story is not about Sami Zayn. However, it is about Jey Uso. And right now, Jey Uso is just having a little bit of insanity. And he's going In-Zayn.